I contemplated bobbing my head this week. That was how serious it was. I come from a community where women are not expected to even try. Women are told that you don't need to go to school. After all, you will end up in a man's house. You will end up in the kitchen. When a successful woman feels probably in love or in relationship, she's blamed for it. And society refuses to acknowledge that in as much as there are bad women out there are also women who are genuinely seeking true emotional connection. And it's always mostly the good women. You see the one that have a little spice of craziness, a little spice of toxicity, they find it easy. It's as if they have the secret recipe to what you can do to be successful. I just want to rant today. I just want to rant. What the hell? This is a podcast and I might as well just rant. So let's get right into it, shall we? I come from a community where women are not expected to even try. Women are not expected to do much. Women are told that you don't need to go to school. After all, you will end up in a man's house. You will end up in the kitchen. I've seen it play out countless times. I've seen it happen to people I know, people I'm close to, a community where even fathers will tell you, I am not sending you to school because you are going to be a person's wife or whatever it is. You know, that constant stigma, always being told that you are not enough unless you're attached to someone else, always being told that it is not enough to just have a thriving career. You have to actually be Mrs. Somebody. And this is where the pressure to actually have a relationship, get married, have children comes in. A lot of women, to be honest, get married in today's world without even realizing why they want to get married. If you ask so many people now, why are you getting married? They would just tell you, is either, oh, because my friends are getting married, or because my mom was pressuring me to get married, or because society expects me to get married. So I find this alarming that women that gets to break all those boundaries, get to have a successful life in terms of financial wealth creation, in terms of jobs, in terms of their career, everything, tend to struggle in these aspects of finding true partnership, finding true love, and then finding true connection with another person, another gender. It is so sad, and I don't know why this happens, and this has been living rent free in my head for a couple of years. I've been thinking about this way back since I was in secondary school. Why do women not have it easy? I've been curious about that for a very long time. So I just want to rant today. I just want to rant. What the hell? This is a podcast and I might as well just rant my thoughts and what I think. So let's get right into it, shall we? This is the Floripedia podcast. Hey lovelies, welcome back to another episode of the Floripedia podcast. If you're new here, welcome, because you just found yourself a digital sanctuary for deep talk, deep insights, emotional connection, empowering conversations. And to my returning subscribers, my darling, you already know the drill. Settle in, grab your popcorn, because today we're tackling a topic that resonates not just with me, but with so many of us, especially my Nigerian sisters that are out there breaking barriers and building beautiful empires, strong empires. Today we're talking about the paradox, of many high value women. Why does all the success in their career often feel like a struggle in their relationship? You know, you see those women that, have probably climbed the corporate ladder and are professionals in every arena. Yet, when it comes to finding a partner, a true partner who values them, who celebrates them, who uplifts them and fights their battle, ah, some of them find them intimidating. And then you kind of start asking yourself, am I too much? Am I asking for too much? Am I intimidating? Or am I just not enough? It's more about the complex interplay of societal expectations and cultural dynamics and a deep psychological pattern that often creates this success penalty for women. We're going to unpack all these layers, and I believe after we're done talking, I'm sure you all will sit back and think about it for a moment and figure out, oh, let's talk about this. Is this truly what it is? But most importantly, we're not just going to identify the problem, we're going to try and give practical solutions on how you can truly have a thriving career and a fulfilling, loving relationship. This is not a full roadmap to success because relationship does not have a guidebook. Everybody just does what works for them. Growing up, I've always envisioned to be an high value woman, to be a woman of substance, to be someone who people would look up to, someone would want to say, hey, that woman is great, right? But constantly, the society shows us that women sometimes cannot have it all. Yeah, I feel so happy when I see women who are high achieving in their careers, in their goals, in their personal life, thriving in their relationship, their marriages, and the rest. But at the same time, you can't help but look at the matrix. You can't help but look at the statistics of women succeeding and also thriving in their personal lives and the ones that are succeeding and probably struggling in their personal life. It's such a huge contrast, and it kind of brings some kind of questions to my little brain at that time. I would constantly feel like, I don't know. Can we truly not have it all? Because why do women really have to choose? Okay, so I'm not really like up there yet. I've not gotten to the point where I want to get to, but I can tell you for a fact that the struggle is real. Now, in the spirit of vulnerability, I'm going to share some of my own experience of, trying to keep it together, trying to, put things, make them work, and just try to get yourself put together. I mean, it's a struggle because most of the time when people see you, they think that, oh, this girl have everything figured out. So I recently did my NYC, and it was last year. And during my NYC, I was having a conversation with some people, and we were talking. And then a girl just blurted out, and she's like, oh, lucky you. You have your life all figured out already, and everything seems to be going well with you. Listening to people like you just makes me feel like I am not doing enough, or um, I'm probably not serious with my life. I felt that. I felt that word like deep down because I understand what she means. And me being confident about what I want and who I want to be is not because I find it easy. That's where she did not really understand. It's not because I know I know where I'm heading, or I have my life all figured out, like she put it, right? I had to explain to her that it's not as easy as it seems, right? I I might have everything looking like it's going well, but I also have my own struggles. I have my own problems that I constantly face. So what are those struggles? So first off, it's been a crazy week. It's been a really crazy week for me, very hectic. I've been thinking, I've been contemplating, is this thing even worth it? Like, this content of a thing is not for the weak. Oh, they will not tell you this. Content is not for the weak. Sometimes some people will be like, everybody is doing content, everybody is doing content. Check well. The ones that are actually putting out value, they are not finding it easy. And if you look at the statistics well, you find out that those who are actually making constant wave and are thriving for a very long time, ask them their stories. They had their own flops, they have their downside, they have, the things that they cried about up until they got to where they wanted to get to, right? They had their struggles. And this has made me realize that everyone has their own journey. Now, speaking of journey, why don't I share mine with you? I contemplated bobbing my head this week. That was how serious it was. I had thoughts, invasive thoughts actually, of bobbing my hair this week. I was so tired. I just needed fresh air. I just needed to pour water. And that was what made me just decide to lose the braid I had on and just have something simple I can literally just pour water on, relax, and rest. Take a moment to breathe. When a successful woman fails, probably in love or in relationship, she's blamed for it. She's portrayed as a bad wife, a bad mother, and society refused to acknowledge that in as much as there are bad women out there, there are also women who are genuinely seeking true emotional connection, but who aren't just lucky with the kind of partners they attract. Because whether you like it or not, you see career women who are a force of nature. Sometimes men are intimidated to approach them. The good ones are intimidated sometimes, not all the time. And the ones and sometimes they probably don't want such women because they are like, they need a submissive woman. They need someone who they can control, who they can tell what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And the ones that ends up approaching them, the ones that gather the liver to do the wooing and all the approach, are the ones that either just wants to milk them for what they have, either for their money or whatever it is they have, or perhaps they just want to, I don't know, take advantage, use them to validate their own existence, and probably, you know, just, I don't know. It's a weird combination, right? And these women, some of them, because they are actually desperate to find true connection, they fall victim to all of this. They fall victim to this type of people. They fall victim to people who just want to use them. They fall victim to these kind of situationships. And it's alarming. You see a woman thriving in the works space, but then she's having issues in her marriage. And I feel bad that society always tends to believe that the woman is always at fault. I agree. There are some women who actually cause their own breakup, whether because of lack of emotional intelligence or because of lack of attention and consistency in showing their partner how much they truly care about them, or taking the relationship seriously in general. But I also believe that there are good women who put in the effort, who put in the time, who put in the constant resources, energy, and whatever it is you might think of. but still they don't get it right. Like, why? Why does this keep happening? And it's always mostly the good women. You see, the one that have a little spice of craziness, a little spice of toxicity, they find it easy. It's as if they have the secret recipe to what you can do to be successful. And I really want us to talk about it today. I really want to, share my opinions. Why are high achieving women not making it in both ends? So, first off, let's start with a truth that might be uncomfortable for some people to acknowledge, but it is crucial that you acknowledge it. There is something I just realized is called the success penalty, right? It's when there is a psychological association has shown that majority of men lose their self-esteem when their female partners succeed succeed even better than them. It's like a subconscious reaction, a feeling of being threatened or emasculated. Now layer this with the Nigerian context. Our culture, it's always a narrative that positions men. There's this narrative that positions men that they are always the provider, the primary provider and protector of the home. Perhaps even should earn more than their partners, right? But when women now start doing this more and doing this better, is now start challenging that deep integrated patriarchy role. Now, this isn't about men being inherently bad, it's about the society conditioning a man's worth to his ability to be the sole provider of the home. Now, when women does both better, as expert insightly puts it, he feels redundant. He feels resentment. He feels insecurity or a subtle undermining of her achievement to feel good about himself. He thinks that, okay, if I make her feel small, perhaps I'll feel bigger. And it's not supposed to be so. Her shine is supposed to be celebrated. My darling, you deserve a partner who is secure enough to bask in your light and not shrink from it. You deserve someone who celebrates you every day. Now, how do you fix this? I need you to vet for secure partners. I know it's hard, not really necessarily successful ones, but secure partners. Someone who already know his worth and is willing to work the journey with you. A secure partner sees your success, shares your victory, and they are not threatened by your achievements. They are comfortable in their own values and do not need to diminish yours to feel good about themselves. They don't just dash you money or funds, to live the extravagant lifestyle. I know we all want baby girl lifestyle. We all want to feel loved, but a true partner seeks to invest in you long term, you know, grow this sustainable future with you where you can thrive. And it's about finding true partnership, it's about finding true connection and not a competitor. Another thing I think is one of the reasons why women, you know, not succeed in relationship is because there's this thing called passive submission trap. A woman is always portrayed as someone who should carry a lot of weight, and a good wife is mostly misinterpreted. Women are now, required to do some things, and when they don't do it, they are found not submissive. And this is something a lot of high achieving women do not fall under. There are some traits that are considered disrespectful or un-African character. When brought into the home, you expect a woman who is a thriving, formidable force, uh, that is a CEO to just transform into a quiet, agreeable, unquestioning wife at home. And it creates this impossible dichotomy, as we've seen in the submissiveness in our culture, where women either avoid conflicts rather than mutual respect. And true partnership is all about maintaining your self-worth at the same time as respecting your partner. It's not about shrinking your personality or dimming your light or suppressing your value to fit a narrow definition of a good wife. It's about deep connection, because when women start doing this, they kind of feel this deep resentment, a genuine connection that is supposed to be built will be lost. You're being asked to be you're being asked to be less than who you actually are. So what do you do in this scenario? I believe embracing the soft life transition is one of the strategies. You can have a thriving career and still cultivate a soft space at home. It doesn't mean becoming a fool as disguised as submission, or simply, you know, just agreeing to everything your partner says without questioning. It's about creating a vulnerable space where you practice letting go of some controls. As a CEO, someone who have been doing things for a very long time, you're used to always fighting for yourself, taking care of yourself, doing your things your way. To be honest, women and men are not meant to compete. We were meant to complement each other. Now, I know women are strong, and I know you are, a strong force, and you've been solving your family problem since you were like 5. But kindly allow your man lead. Kindly let him support you. Kindly let him love you like he is meant to do. Let's talk about something most of us can relate to, especially high achieving women, especially those who have navigated challenging path to success, who are fighting incredibly to become who they are. Hence, they learn to be strong all the time. I'm not even there yet, but I can tell you that it's a struggle. You constantly have to be your own cheerleader. You constantly have to be your own protector. You constantly have to remind yourself you need to succeed, which constantly leads to burnout. This self reliance, which can be considered as a superpower in the professional world, unfortunately, can be considered, you know, a hindrance in your marriage or relationship. Psychologically, hyper independence is often a response, a protective mechanism developed from past experience, where relying on others leads to disappointment, leads to the phrase where they say, I don't need a man. You don't need a man care. Even though you are self sufficient, even though you can do everything yourself, you need genuine partners who can provide a soft landing, who can share the burden with you and make it less difficult for you, who you can truly lean on. And you might find yourself unconsciously testing partners, waiting for them to fail, or simply not allowing them the space to love you and show up for you the way they are supposed to, because you have that survival mentality that ah they will fail last. Now, true partnership requires interdependence. It's not just about asking for help when you need it. It's about knowing that someone is there to catch you when you fall. It's a true, beautiful connection. So if you find yourself in this category, I believe, I have this belief, right? That there is no reward for sufferhead. If there are things you can outsource, let's say childcare, house care, or whatever, if you can get a help, if you can get cleaners, please invest in them. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for your well being, for your health, for your mental health, and also to help you create time for your relationship and more space for connection and intimacy. Not just, to give yourself enough room to prioritize your self care and also share, you know, your problems with your partner, but to actually be happy, because you get tired. You get really tired when you feel frustrated with everything. And when you are tired, you don't get to give your best. Now, research has shown that most women, when they reach the age of 25 and are educated, and they've gone higher in their career and they've achieved financial independence, the pool for potential partners decreases. This one I learned it the hard way because they find lesser men who are equally stimulating and attractive to them, because women at 25 has developed their full frontal lobe and are more self-aware compared to men their age. Now, high value women often seek partners who share the same ambition with them, who are secure in their achievements, and who probably have everything figured out and are capable of leading them. But the traditional expectation in Nigeria and in Africa still considers women as the nurturer, someone who should prioritize a man's goals and success above her own. Now, this creates a mismatch. We see it play out every day, even in the public eyes. We see it with our popular celebrities, our influencers, and our beautiful women out there. I'm not going to mention names, but you know what I'm talking about. These women who are global icons everywhere, who have openly shared the complexities of balancing massive fame and successful personal life. Handling personal breakups, such as, finding a compatible partner or dealing with heartbreaks and, so many struggle. The intersection of traditional expectations and modern feminine achievements narrows the path to find a truly compatible partnership. The higher you fly, the fewer birds you reach. But the brighter side is the view is bright on the upper side now, Abby. It's a struggle, honestly. I can't get this off my head. What can be the solution to actually finding the right partners, especially when you are now at a point where the dating pool is now hard? You're not seeing men that are looking for sugar mummies. I think having a high standard just helps you um, eliminate the unnecessary crowd, because women who grows in their intelligence, in their academics, in their finances, they tend to be selective about who they allow into their lives, right? So the scarcity is often like a filtering process rather than a misaligned opportunity, and it kind of helps you know what you want and how to achieve it. So I believe one of the ways you can actually do this is try to see this process as not a terrible one or something you should be sad about, but actually a way to find partners who who are probably looking for the same thing as you. And yes, this actually helps you prevent the repetition of circle where you find yourself dating the same people with different faces, different background. I think going out more is going to even be helpful. I think I should do that more too, because the type of men you're looking for are probably not going to be in your circle. They're probably not going to be in that environment. High value men have places they find themselves and they go to. But let's talk about the final killer of modern day relationship that most high achieving women face all the time. I call it the emotional labor and the second shift. When a woman is the primary breadwinner of her home, she earns more money or even equally. She's often still expected to shoulder the vast responsibility, the majority of the domestic care, the responsibility of childcare, and this invisible labor that is always making her shoulder the entire burden alone. Now, I consider this the second shift because imagine coming from one whole full job, a demanding job, only to start another one. The exhaustion of running a boardroom and then coming back home to manage school runs, coordination, family logistics, kitchen duties, especially when they don't have a supportive partner. That's burnout creates a sense of resentment. It creates a part of you that you really do not like. Part of the struggle I had this week was because when I was burnt out, I became someone totally different. I became grumpy. I started to act out. In fact, even my dog was not left out. I was so angry at everything and everyone, and I can tell the weight of what this can do to you. The unspoken expectations, the unacknowledged effort. I understand this whole thing. And yes, I know that in Africa, we're always expected that women should be the domesticated one, but domestication shouldn't be for women alone. You see a lot of men who do not even know how to cook or do anything for themselves, and you just expect that a woman should shoulder everything. So I just feel like there should be this means of communication, creating this radical means of communication where both partners gets to talk about everything they feel, gets to share how they feel about marriage, responsibility, and the rest from the get-go of the relationship. A good and healthy relationship requires a radical conversation, a radical commitment from the get go. Talk about responsibilities, childcare, emotional support, challenge traditional gender roles, especially when you are getting married. In a relationship, I don't know, but when it's marriage, oh, it's a lifetime stuff. If your partner cannot help out and you know you need a partner that can support, either by providing a soft landing for you or by helping out physically, create a relationship that has structure that will work for both of you, ensuring that both partners can be valued and feel supported in their contribution, both inside the home and outside their home. You really do not want to be with someone who is nonchalant. It's not going to be funny. Okay, so there you have it, lovelies. The journey of a high achieving woman is one with immense power, resilience, and grace. Not it is You are not meant to choose between your success and your happiness, or between having a successful career and having a thriving relationship. You can have both with intentionality, the courage to build an equitable partner who has compassion, and I don't know, it's easier to say until you walk the work. The talk is just there. I just pray that we all end up with good partners who will love and cherish us and just want to take care of us. Okay? So guys, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Share this podcast episode with a sister, with a partner who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you don't miss our episode. Do leave us a review if this podcast touched you, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's been amazing having you. I enjoy this conversation because this is something I've always wanted to talk in a very long time. So keep making wave in your career and in your love life. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and keep improving one life at a time. Until I see you again on our next episode of the Therapedia podcast, do have a lovely day. Hacha. Bye. This is the Therapedia podcast.